Hello. So I was working on this for a couple hours on the Tableau, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I was trying to figure out how to get to work in this latest dashboard. So we made this earlier, and then there weren't any connections really when I was going in here between this one and that one, and I realized it was because the data source for I've only had one beer. I was so tired today. I don't know what's going on. It was actually using the wrong IDs. The wrong relationships between this one was originally switched, even though it showed um, these, it was linking to the gene ID. And so even though we were getting the information from the data set, it wasn't linking to this one when we linked up to it, or even this one. So I corrected that. And then I spent some time fooling around with the finding a way to filter stuff and add a search toolbar. But what happened was the search toolbar would limit everything you do. So if you manually go in to, let's say here, the pathology one, you go in here under the data tab, you put create a parameter, and then you name that parameter, you make it a string, and then you put a value in it, and you make it just I just left it empty. And then you go over here, it's called parameter 3. You go to this little drop down and you put create a calculated field, calculation 1 from parameter string, we'll just call it that. And you call the field in brackets, parameter 3 equals, and then you, like if you wanted to search for the gene symbol, in this one, it would be gene symbol, and that would be okay. You would bring it up, right? And then you would bring this calculation here to the filters. You would press OK, and then you would go here to parameter 3, and you would put show parameter, and then let's clear this. We don't need that one right there. Parameter 3, we have to go into edit it. Current value, let's do a list. Add values from gene symbol. It's in this one. Okay. And you press OK. It would have the default on that. So then you could click down and you can put a slider, or you can put a single value list. But it was such a hassle to do that I wanted to type it in. And then right here, I'm not sure why it's not allowing anything to show right now because it's basing it all off of this. So we'll go ahead and remove it. There was a big problem with that, so we'll remove this. And then what I found out, let's go ahead and clear all the filters. Every time you move something around, it gets added to the filters of that page. So we'll just clear all the shelves for these. There's nothing in the stomach carcinoma. I guess it's not even linked to the filter from there that you do manually. And there's just an easier way to do what I wanted to do, and the AI wasn't showing. But really, it's pretty intuitive. So all you do is, and like you can check to make sure that these data sets are linked to this pathology key. So before, it's already saved, so I'm not going to save it again. So we made some changes. But so the gastric carcinoma one wasn't linked earlier. It should be linked now because I just said it. And you know, this gene's just probably not in some of these other. So we'll go ahead and set that. And now we'll go to intrahepatic cholangiocarcinoma dataset. Here's one. And I clicked on it. So yes, it's showing it. It is linked to it. We'll go ahead and cancel that one out. Now what's cool about this is I was thinking, because there's so many genes in a location on a chromosome, a lot of overlap, and we saw, if you were following along this whole time and reading through all the ARPubs, chromosome 9 is a high link to, I believe it's the nasopharyngeal carcinoma. Different genes there. So what happened was, if you just click on this, you just right click it, you put filter. I already have the filter though, it's right there. I named it something else. It'll create a filter for you. Custom value list, but you have to find it. I already have a filter, so I'm not sure if it's going to do it. Once that filter is made, it's usually like off to the side somewhere. Okay, well, I already made the filter, so it's. So anyways, you can search for it, because I know CD74 was the PDL1 gene. Search for it, it'll show it because it has it. And this is a filter to all data sets. You click serving all the other data. And then you click on here inside this one, that's a filter for all. It'll show you all the genes, pathology it comes in, where it was seen at. And we have it in the CHL elderly. That's the only one it's in. Okay, yeah, so the one is actually in the Hodgkin's and the diffuse large B cell. But we do have it in the nasopharyngeal carcinoma. Actually, all of these have it. And then we can go into this. Let's go ahead and click out of this. You just click the gene again. And that is the PDL1 chromosome 9. So it is on chromosome 9 right here. There were other genes. So let's clear out of this, because now the filter, hold on, it's only allowing this one. So let's go to a different one. Because once it's filtered, it only selects that if you go to a chromosome. So you go to, let's go PD. Let's just look SPDL1. Before it was allowing me to actually go, okay, I want to get out of that. It's not allowing me to go back up and erase the previous searches. I'm not sure why. It was doing it just fine inside the Tableau one. All right. I'm not really sure why it's doing that. But if I click that X, it's going to take me out of there. So we're just going to go in and we're going to clear the filter manually. Just clear the shell in here, because when you're in Tableau, it will go ahead and clear it for you, allow you that option. Let's go ahead and move this back down. Now, if we go to the chromosome, it'll have it listed, because here, I'm waiting for it to process. Not necessary, not really. You know what I mean? I mean, they kind of are, but. And the problem with this, keeps wanting to do that. It's taking longer now. I'm not sure why, but so we don't need to manually go in and create a calculation create a whatever it was, a parameter. Let's go to the chromosome location. We'll search for it, and it'll show you all of them. But you can search for 9 colon, and then it should bring up the 9 colon, but it's not. It was doing it just great before, but it's in order. So let's go to that. CD247 was 274 was 9.5. So we could just select this by scrolling. You know, it's out of order. We're going to have to put 9 colon 5. See, here we are. We'll just select all of these as many as we can. It didn't let us multiple select these. What the heck? Well, it was a long. All right. So it is not. So dumb. All right, let's unclick that one. We're going to go back to. We have to actually go back to the ensemble key, clear the shelf again. And then go back to the dashboard. Wait for it to load. And then we'll go here, 9 colon 5. Let's search with this little magnifying glass. Comes up with some other ones, but let's see if we can multiple select. Oh, it only does one. So annoying. It was not doing this earlier. Okay. So anyways, that's what we did. Let's go to the actual Tableau location. I'm just going to close it. Let's not save this. No, because I already saved it as it was. This is just for a demonstration. All right, so let's go to that. Actually, all right, let's open it up. 9:20 p.m. Yeah, that was the last. Oh no, 9:23. Oh, we saved it as that. Oh, man. Okay. This is not the one that we wanted, so we're going to go ahead and open our workbooks. This one. We'll close out of this other one. All right. Now we're gonna log in. Manage my profile. I clicked sign in. It's not that one. My profile. Okay, let's go and do this one. And we can see that these search bars are here. Let me just share this link with you though. I'll just do that real quick. Oh, here it is. All right, copy the link. And then I'll go in here and add it. To filter or to find them. Data set. Okay, let's see that one. All right, so this is what I was going to show you. Let's close that. Okay, so 9:5 search should be able to click a multitude of them, generating all the chromosomes in that location 9:5. If you know the exact length of that gene, so we could just go there. Okay. And we see that they're listed here. I think you could put control and then select that and select that. Okay. And then select this one and this one and this one. All right, they all seem to be in the biliary duct one. All right, so now we just deselect all of them. And it has a clear list on the actual server. So now they're all deselected, you can go back and look. Now, if we want to look for those genes, CD4, a natural killer one, let's go ahead and click that. And then, well, it should have been in this one, but we might have something. Let's go ahead and clear that out. Oh, that's weird. Oh, we didn't clear it out of this. We got to clear the chromosome. That's why it didn't show. So now we'll search for this one and we'll find it. Make sure you clear the list and then we'll select it from the ensembl key. And then you can see the natural killer T cell CD4 fold change expression values. It's only on the biliary duct, the acute infectious mono, the chronic active Epstein-Barr virus, gastric carcinoma, and the peritoneal metastasis, as well as the colorectal cancer, with the treatment that they needed to knock out ORCA so that they could stop cell replication. And after they knocked it out, it did reduce this gene. And then also, so it retarded the natural killer cells, so it would stop doing the cell regeneration as part of it. Okay, it was high though in the short hairpin, high in the baseline colorectal cancer. Okay, So then we'll select that again and clear it, but it's not clear all the way because we have to remove it from the gene name search. And so now we got all of the genes back. All right. And then this is how we could go about looking at genes. You can go look for gene summaries, and then tomorrow we'll add this to the other. Actually, we could just do it now to the other Tableau dashboard. Yeah, it really doesn't take too long. It's just the upload of it. So we'll go ahead and close this one out because it's only been 20 minutes. Let's go to our Tableau works. And then we're going to open up the non-EBV associated genes. This one. That's it. Okay. We'll open this one up. And we'll add the filter. Let's test out though to make sure the pathology genes are all linked on the same criteria. So we'll test first. So fibromyalgia, let's look for some fibromyalgia. That's, I don't know. Can we like alphabetic? Okay. You know, so we can actually just do this. Let's make a filter it. All, okay. And then it's gonna show it. It's created, and it's going to be off to the side. We might have to move this one out of the way a little bit to see it. I'm not really seeing that, so I guess not. Okay, so we'll go back over here, show filter, and you'll see a little outline of it to the side. Here we are. More options, edit filter, custom value list, use all. I like the select from list though. Okay. But whenever I used it earlier, I'm not really sure what the settings were, but let's go ahead and edit this. Okay, yeah, so single values list. Okay, we'll do that one, but let's edit it. None selected. Okay. All right, so we didn't have the wrong one. Drop down. That's what we want, is a drop down. And then we'll put this. Let's move this one down and the other one's down too. We're gonna need to make room anyway, so. And Let's move this one down. Okay, so we want to test for. We want to see if the fibromyalgia one's good. Okay, and it texts, and then we'll just select it here. It looks like it's linked up. That's good. We just want to test that all these data sets are connecting to the genes. And the next one is, let's do the savant autism. Let's do that one. And check. And then we're listed. Oh, that's right. You know what? With this one, doesn't include the top genes in the pathology because they were moved for gene bank accession ID, and none of those gene bank accession IDs actually had a gene symbol, so there won't be any of the autism ones there. But at least we have the full change for what they were. We manually found those. By gene bank accession, we just took the top gene. There was a whole video on that. All right, and then let's go to the uterine myeloma, uterine fibroid. There are more genes in this. Let's go to that one. Good. That's in there. Let's just random testing. And the next one will be Lyme disease. You know what? After being so tired today, I want to add another pathology, chronic fatigue syndrome. So we'll be doing another project to add chronic fatigue syndrome. I felt unbelievably tired. I have no idea why. Okay, so we're gonna go up here to Lyme disease, and then we'll just pick one. Okay, it's in there. Good. So the data sets are connected the proper way. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we are going to make this one a filter, show filter. And we're going to do the same thing, a drop-down list. And that's already like it is. Gene name. Okay. And then we're going to do the locus, show filter. Here it is. We're going to move it over here. Move this up some. All right. So now for this, we are going to go ahead and let's select one of the genes from the autism one to see if there's any in here. Okay, search, because no matches. Okay. Let's, Oh, geez, really? Okay. You know what? We can actually exclude these if we just put exclude. Here we are. So we're going to search for BNF7. Let's search and see what it finds. Okay. Right here. And then we selected it. Okay, good. So this is there. Just had to test to make sure some of the genes are here. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and go in here, delete it, select that. It's really, we're gonna have to go in and clear it from the ensembl key. So we'll just clear the shelf. so that we can get all of the values back. Okay. And now let's go to the chromosome. Let's just put X colon and see what we get. 6 chromosome genes. So it does let me pick multiple ones. These are X-linked genes. Usually there's a lot of pathologies. And then also male pattern baldness. And also I believe hemophilia. One hemophilia is actually X-linked as well. So we'll just click. Okay. Now it has them there. You can see the looks here on that. We're going to select one, and then we'll select another one, and another, and another. And then we'll go down to the other ones that are there and select those. Okay. And there's some in uterine leiomyoma, fibromyalgia, and Lyme disease. We can compare across and see the full change values for these genes. Let's clear this filter. Oh, it's not showing anything. Oh, well, none of these are in the pathology database. That's why there's nothing there. Acute infectious, all these X-linked genes seem to be very high. I don't know where the scroll bar is here. What is this? There should be more, right? I'm not sure. Maybe those are the only genes that showed up in it. None in the autism. Okay. So now we'll go ahead and clear that. We're going to have to go in and clear all the filters because none of this affected the shelf. They call it the filter shelf. But this will be good to compare because we have the top genes pathology. Let's add that as a descriptive title so that it's obvious what it is and what we're comparing. Why does one have 600 and one have 51,000? Let's go to this one and clear the shelf in that one. We didn't move it to the front. I think I'll leave the top gene pathology there just to see. It's still okay. Let's move this here. Let's go in there and clear that shelf as well. Great. Now we'll go to the pathologies database. All right, perfect. We'll save this. We don't need to export it again. And then top pathology, top genes. Let's add that to the name right here too, and then save it again. Okay, let's make this smaller too, like a 10 font. And all right, now we'll save it again. And then we'll export it. Or we'll save it to Tableau Public. No, wait. I'll share this link with you too. But let's test it out on the site, the server. I switched from folders a week or two ago. I switched from folders to all these generic coffee made in Beaumont or Banning. And it is just not that strong. I feel like it is decaffeinated. So I had only one, and it tasted like caffeine in it. Then I had a cup of that coffee. I was really tired. I did binge watch the show. It's actually pretty good. I like those quirky little drama things. The Boroffs. It's an old actors are in it. It's like a retirement community, but it's funny. I've been watching that. I went to bed right before 1. I woke up at 7:30. Didn't really feel that tired until an hour before work, and then I was like, I feel really tired. Really tired. Look at the weekend. It'll be fine. All right, cool. So let's go and select the gene database. Let's go here. Let's select CD4. See if it's in anything. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and go back up. We'll wait for it to process. Clear the filter. Now we're going to go to the gene names. Let's look up gene LMP1. Let's see if it has that one. No matches. Okay. Let's go to CD274. I don't know that many genes. Really? Okay. We selected it. It'll be a short list here. It should. Come on. It's not working. So this is supposed to select it from here. Something's either just spending a lot of time processing. Oh, yeah. Hold on. There we go. You have to put the search box. Okay. Select that box next to it. And then wait. This is the PDL1 chromosome 9 seen in Hodgkin's and diffuse large B-cell lymphoma. The alternate name. Well, it's taking an unbelievably long time. I should have just had it right here. I'm not sure what's going on. It's so weird. Let's clear that. Clear this. We'll go to 9:51. Let's just see if it looks for that. All right, great. We'll select some. All right, search. It's not really doing anything that it's supposed to be doing. Hello, go search for it. Supposed to, yeah, this is so much different than what it was in Tableau. So it's not linking up to here. That's weird. I think it's because maybe we cleared out the filters. I'm not really sure what's going on here. Let's see. The filter shelves have been cleared, but that shouldn't be a problem. Because if I go in here and I select it and search, it only let me use once. But it's looking for it. I didn't finish the binge watching. Okay, let's select this one. Nothing in Lyme disease, but it is in uterine leiomyoma or uterine fibroid and fibromyalgia. It's a low expression in the myo samples, and the healthy had no expression on it. The fold change is low. All of the females with normal uterine fibroids compared to normal had a low fold change as well. It's not in our top genes pathology, but it is a gene on chromosome 9. Okay, so we'll clear that. And then, actually, we can just close this. It's not that. It works in here, so we'll close that and we'll not save any changes. This, I don't know what's going on with it. I'll refresh it. Let me share this with you. We'll add it here. Okay. And let's go back to that dashboard. Let's look at the chromosomes. It's not showing anything. I'm not sure it's not showing anything. It's not even doing anything. I'm not sure why that is. And clear that. Well, we have that gene. Okay. Let's go into our Lyme disease and see, but we gotta clear that. All right, let's look at this gene. We have that. Lyme disease, I did want to change though, because that's something we're gonna have to look at as well, because I have to remember why there's negative values. Look at that. We can go in and find it. I'm not gonna go too much into it. It was one of the first ones. I think it was because I manually did some stuff as well. We'll just let's get this one and see if it's in there. Okay, let's not look at that one. There's a lot of them. Let's see. Wow, it opened up the environment. I guess this is just what the data is, huh? Let's see. Read. Okay, so we made this in a previous one. We already had the means and the medians. So it's not this one. Let's go and close out all these ones too, saved over from a different environment. This is all the training in the carrots package. So, okay, January 4th. Might. More machine learning. All right. Let's see. Let's go in here and just look at the summary. Study summary. I think we added it as it was from every sample. Like there was a folder missing. Let's see. One. Yeah, I think it's this one. Oh, okay. We'll go back to the link folder. And it looks like these are all January 4th and 5th. Oh, when I first did this, I think I just used the history. I wasn't using the R markdown. All right, that's not helpful. So we can actually just go to our pubs. And look at when the Lyme disease was done. When the Lyme disease was the first one. Okay. Over here. All right. Here we reading the matrix. You know, I think we might have put. All right, it wasn't that one. Maybe I had it in my other site. Yeah, here we go. Lyme disease. Analysis. I didn't do this that long ago. I don't know why it's showing as that. I guess I did. Wow, I don't remember doing that. We might have to just go ahead and. I was actually more fluent in Tableau early on. Whenever making. So you can filter by the gene. And create a dashboard that shows information that could be useful. I guess I took this from a study I did before. I could have swore I did it from the ground up, from the first. Wow. I did a lot back, but I just haven't really been using any of that other stuff. Oh, the links are here. Apparently I went on a different scale, negative and positive. These are the only values though on our dashboard that are negative, because nothing else is negative. They've all been normalized between 0. Full change. Yeah, so it was, there would never be a negative value because none of the values were less than 0. They were just already normalized and then the fold change taken. These ones were looked at differently as a different normalization method, I suppose. Usually it's like a log normal if it's between 0 and 1, because anything outside of that, it's not able to because of the log. And the other normalization is another method that used by standard deviations. Been a while, but those are values that have negative values. So I'm not sure why I started data science again, and apparently I wanted to look into Lyme disease. And let's just make sure it's the same, because it's possible it's not even the same study. I always cite which study it is, so GSE 145974, and then GSE 145974. Okay, well, I guess I did take it from there. We'll have to look and see. So we can actually just look it up right now. Oh, I think I might have. I feel like there is literally a filter missing. Oh, okay. All right. Oh yeah, 86 samples. Series matrix text. I'm not sure if that's going to be. Hold on. We just downloaded that one. And then the raw.tar of cell type. Select all. Ugh. Wow. Because I couldn't remember working with cell CEL files before. So apparently I have. This was done whenever I wasn't working. Right? What was it? My Janice Harris, or you can go to Janice Corona where the new ones are. Newer ones are mostly just looking for gene expressions. It's nothing fancy like plot wise. If you want some plots, you can head over. All right, let's see if they're in the downloads. All right, let's make a new folder. Disease. Let's rename it. Oops. Let's see, which one is it? The 974. 974. 14. 5974. And then we'll go ahead and move this to the desktop. And I'm going to while we're at it again. All right. Well, we have our Tableau dashboards. We're going to add a chronic fatigue syndrome to this. Once we do it, and we're going to change this Lyme disease one too, because I want them all to be similar. And our gene, our study summarize is not very informative. So we'll go ahead and see 14, 15, 9, 70. We'll go ahead and get all the samples. And then we'll print this. Redo. I'll just put revisited. Ground up. All right, so this will be 5, 6 years later. I just used the data that I had from it, which is weird. I feel like I just messed with this again. CEL files. Oh, you know why? It's because I didn't use CEL. I manually downloaded every single one of these. There is a folder somewhere. So I manually downloaded these and put them in an Excel file. So these are log2 normalized intensities, and we see here that they are negative values. These are log2 normalized, but the other normalization I think is Bayesian then, because there's a few different ways to normalize. One is between 0 and 1, but they scale it too. So these are our values. So we're not going to change anything with that. We'll just have to go in and log. I guess we'll just reverse that, or we can. It's been a while since I did math, and I am a math major. Seems like the internet has everything. Normalize values. Which ways? Using z-course. There's a few different ways. Min-max, z-score, robust scaling. There's a whole bunch of different ways to normalize. Quick normalization in pandas. Log normalize function. mean, the values aren't between 0 and 1 necessarily, but there's no negative ones in any of the other samples. The min-max, okay. If you apply min-max, it's x minus the min and max minus the min. This is the one that they're using to keep the results in 0 to 1, which makes sense. Okay, so max minus min is the range, and then x minus the min, that's any number from the minimum, so the start point. Okay, so he's going to be in the range of 1, 0 to 1. Okay, and then okay, and then this seems z-score seems more like the log 2, but it says it was log 2 normalized, but it says here because the log only goes from 0 to 1. That's why the logistic curve is between 0 to 1. Along the y axis from 0 to 1 cuts it off like that. Okay, the z-score. Z-score has a negative value, so ours was a z-score, even though it says log 2 normally. So you subtract the mean and divide by the standard deviation. That's why it can have negative values. All right, well, fitting. You'd have to know what the standard deviation is, or okay. We don't have to worry too much about that. I guess we just have negative values. It's a different. If you put this in a classifier, any negative value, it's going to know it's Lyme disease. Well, it should anyway. And all of the values are negative. I guess we can. Says you can. So you just take the minimum minus that value, the minimum of all the data for that gene, each gene, and then you divide it by the max minus the min, which is the range for that gene. If it was in a data table, like Excel as a formula, you would in the row so that all the samples across the columns are the values, all the values for that gene. And so you would just, each row would be the max and min would just be the last column minus, well, it would just be that range of all the columns, take the max of it minus the minimum of those columns for that gene. That would be the denominator, and the numerator would be the max the minimum actually of that gene in that row minus that value X, which X by original value. So original value would be, yeah, so I guess we're stuck on figuring out what that one is, that value. Because, well, we just have this data right here. So if we do something, that'll be a whole nother thing. Let's see if it works now. Oh, you can forget so much if you don't use it for a while. Especially when it got you nothing. Just proof you went through it. And stress yourself out enough to get cancer and a huge fibroid, preventing you from having any children. Yeah, the sacrifices we make. Let's see. Let's see if it works now. Let's look up CD4. Okay, we'll go right here. We selected it. And it's not working. It's not in the... It's still not working. There's no little box other than that. It's not in here. It's supposed to be connected to that. It worked fine in the dashboard. It could be that I'm sharing this. I'm not really sure why it's not working. This works. These are not working with the ensembl ID. I'm confused by that because it works just fine in the workbook. All right, let's stay logged into that. Let's see how long we've been on here. An hour and 12 minutes. Let's open it back up again. It's going to be the non-EBV. Yeah, sometimes. Let me see this a little. So it works in the workbook. Let's go ahead and resave it. So can we sign in again too? It's really weird. Because I'm already signed in. Let's see what it does. You know, I think it was because, no, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Where's that? You do that Lyme disease one again. You have the set right here. The max, the min. Each value would have to be normalized separately by taking the max of this, the min of it. You're taking the min minus that value over the max of that column minus the min of that column. And you put it in a separate column. And you would just scroll across. So then you could put like, but this would be by the sample. So actually the max would be a feature. And so you would move across. You would actually, okay. So these ones are the mean, the median, and the full change value. Okay, so right here, we would add like the max of, A2 to CL2. Boom. Push it all the way down, scroll it all the way down by grabbing this X and moving it down. And then here you would do the min, and then A2 to CJ2. So that would be there, or CJ or CI, because that one would be the max, this would be the min. And then you would have another column. You would have to redo all the columns, and it would basically be a formula that says take this CK2 minus A2 in parentheses, divide that by, in parentheses, CJ minus CK, the max minus the min. And that's the value here. You would scroll that all the way down to get the normalized values for the first sample. And you do that across to get all the samples. And then we'd have to store it and then get the means and the medians and all that. Well, it stored it. Oh, look at that. Remove it. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and DPM1, just because it's there. Select it. There we go. Now it works. And then you select it from there, and then it works. Great. Now then we would just clear that. But we'd also have to click that again so that it clears it from the filter that's filtering it from all the data sets. Okay, cool. So we figured out how to do that on Tableau. We can do some really cool charts with Tableau. I was really good at Tableau back in the day. I wasn't the best, but I mean, I was like intermediate. now I really don't use it that much for anything other than this because I know that it is really good for relational databases on a dashboard. But if you're good with charts and whatnot, you can look at that. You can go to my vises. They call them vises. It's right here. See, I didn't make that up. And you could see some charts and how different data. It used to let you download. So here's something cool. Here's some charts. Bunch of different things. Okay, so some of the charts are better. Like this one looks pretty cool. And if you wanted to you can download all of this. So right here, use like a bubble scatter plot. And it is cool because you can hover over it and it will give you that information. Or it's not going to be exact because there's like tens of thousands of genes here. But you can do that. And then I think I need a filter on this one. We'll have to look at that to get creative some more and look at these genes across all those different pathologies. Because there's a lot more than what I'm doing with Tableau that you can do. So let's see if it downloads this. Image, PDF, PowerPoint, Tableau workbook. Current. I'll just keep current. There's different versions of Tableau. Adipose stem cells. All right, we'll close this. We don't need to look at that. We can close this too. Let's look and see if it downloaded it. Should open it up in my. Oh, look at that. Look, it even has all the data sets, the sheets that we made. You can see where you put everything here. And then here are the table. Yeah, explore that. What went into it? Some might have some calculated features, some measured values. We took the average. The scatter plot. A bar chart. Disease, healthy, you can filter it by that on the dashboard. Filter by patient as a filter, full change order. Well, it doesn't look good here. Let's see if we can get a wider one and a higher one. Okay. So we can go by disease. We can go by healthy. Just use this gene, but we can't filter by, these are the filters. You can filter by differential expression all the way down. Maybe you can filter by shift control. That's worth a shot. Usually that's pretty. You can control shift. You can select multiple fold change values. Or differential expression. And here I didn't know that we could actually increase the width of the columns. I don't think we could in the day, back in the day. And then let's just select a gene. It's not a filter, so it's not going to show it across. We can go to the data source. Oh. Ooh. Data source is supposed to show us where all of our tables are. All we have are the sheets. We don't have the actual table. All right, we'll give you the workbook, but it doesn't give you the underlying data. It used to. I feel like it used to, yeah. All right. So I'll close this out so you can download any of those workbooks, open it up, and then it can give you ideas for the charts that I used before when I was using Tableau. All right, that's it for today. All right, thanks. And then we're going to look see if there's any gene expression. So I didn't run anything. I don't know. I saw it not letting. And let's look up chronic fatigue syndrome. Encephalo in the brain, muscle pain, post-exertional malaise, encephalomyelitis, the nerves to the brain. Encephalo, that means like the brain inside the ventricles of the brain, or sinuses of the brain. And chronic fatigue syndrome, here's one. Right. Circulating cell-free RNA signatures for the characterization and diagnosis of myalgic encephalomyelitis, chronic fatigue syndrome. That sounds interesting. Wow, 168 samples. Let's look and see what it's made of. High throughput sequencing, cell-free RNA, circulating cell-free RNA signatures. Cell-free RNA signatures. Cell-free RNA. Okay, so it is RNA. Raw counts for 168 samples. CFS patients, healthy controls, chronic fatigue syndrome patients, healthy controls. Well, that looks like an interesting one. Let's go ahead and print this out. We should start doing that one next. It's called myalgia. What is it called? Myalgic encephalomyelitis. pathologic encephalomyelitis. Let's see. Samples, GSE 293, 840. We're gonna put this in the desktop in a new folder. T syndrome, GSE 293, 840. Okay, let's go ahead and download this. Oh, that was fast. And then we'll download this. That's pretty fast too. Pretty sure that's all we need. Okay, let's go to the downloads and make sure it downloaded. We'll copy that and put it on the desktop. Chronic fatigue syndrome. And we'll go over to this one. We'll just cut it and we'll just put it in the Lyme disease one. We actually manually downloaded it. We can't really do anything with it. We have to normalize all the data. So this is just the original files. Let's rename it. Original files. And all right, that's it for today. I'll go ahead and leave that information there. I'm going to go ahead and change all my playlists too, so that there's just one playlist of data science, and then I just move all the videos to it. So I'll do that today. Oh. Okay. So is min minus, okay. Min minus x over max minus min of the gene samples per gene sample x. Are you taking notes of that? Oh, oops. Okay. See that? All right. Oh, you guys have a great night. See you next time.